Stippling is our next technique. Stippling means dots, laying down lots and lots of dots. It's like a broken color or an optical mixing situation, except for it's made with little dots. George Seurat was a pointillist, and he really maximized using this idea. The colors mix optically, kind of like the strokes we did in the previous section. But what you're going to do is you're going to put dots down. Now you can put them down with a paintbrush, which is one possibility. As you put a second color in them, they're going to have a different look, and the colors are not actually blended together. They're just set in there beside each other, and they have a different, they optically mix as we see them. I'm going to clean my brush a little bit so we can see this a little clearer. If I put some yellow ones in here, it's going to start to look orange. And you can do this with a paintbrush. You could pull them a little bit if you'd like. Try not to keep them too long a stroke. You can do them with something very specific like the end of a brush, where you're having really controlled little dots. You can use little tiny dots with the point of a pencil. You could use a dowel rod. You could use fingerprints. These are going to make a little more controlled dot than my paintbrush is going to. It's going to have a lot of texture because oil paints are thick. I'll put some more yellow on them out here so that we start to get a color change happening. You hear my dog coming down the steps? Hi, Roos. Alright, so if I go from orange to yellow dots, to even yellower dots, I'm going to get a transition of color without actually mixing them. If I do red and I put some green into it, the optical mixing philosophy would say that it's going to start looking brown. So let's see if we can make something that has more the illusion of a brown, because I'm putting green and red together. Can you see how that's kind of got a brown quality to it? A little purpler because I've got a lot of blue in this green. But from a distance, that's going to read more of a brown than a red or a green. You might do little strokes like this to create the illusion of leaves eventually. You may just like this technique. George Seurat was a post-impressionist that worked with a lot of pointillism in his career. It's just another technique. You can do the same thing over here with painting as a painting technique. You could consider that if I was trying to put a little row of pearls on a lady at a formal party, you know, that I could actually set a ring of pearls on somebody's neck. Imagine that you had someone and her neck and shoulders are here. And then her shoulders would come out here. And we could, you know, if we had her all painted, we wanted to put a string of beads on her neck rather than having to paint little perfect circles with our paintbrushes. You could just set them down as little dots. Another possibility. It is only how you choose to use these is really just totally based on how strong your imagination is and how you can apply them. Let me see if I can. I'm not going to finish all these dots, but I'd like you to go ahead and practice merging different colors together to fill up and see if you can get different impacts. See if you can go through maybe a rainbow. Go through 3 or 4 colors side by side. Start with one color on the corner and pull it in. Figure out another way you might use dots besides a lady with a pair of pearls. This example in this book shows an artist that's using stippling to put highlights on trees, to put a lot of flowers. That's a real logical situation where you would have flowers that have all kinds of little dots from a deep distance. And there's these really subtle different colors, and they're just little dots placed on top to make those feel like each of those have a different flower on the top. This sample also shows something like that. This artist is working, you can see, in lots of dots. They're laying down colors, building up value changes. Here they're laying down colors, bringing in shadows, but this whole canvas is being painted with a series of dots. And so stippling is just an option. It's kind of time consuming, probably works better if you're working small, but it's a really cool way to learn color theory and color mixing. And your eyes do a lot of the blending, because if you look really close, you know, there's oranges and purples and tans and all kinds of colors here, but as you step back, it probably, well, this is the man's back right here, is this piece right here. Alright,